So my name is Melissa. I am a certified 200-hour yoga instructor. I'm a fairly new yoga instructor. I've been certified for about a year now, but I've been practicing yoga for about 25 years. I started in university to manage stress, and I just never stopped. And I've been with HopeSpring since February. What brought me to HopeSpring was I was interested in expanding my teaching. I've been doing some teaching in the community, and I'd created some YouTube teaching videos, but I wanted to have a more interactive class, and I wanted a class that would fit into my lifestyle. I've got a pretty busy lifestyle. I've got 2 young kids, I'm married, I've got a full-time job, all those, fun things. So I was looking for a volunteer role. I wasn't interested in making money. I was interested in sharing the love of yoga. And I did a Google search. I found volunteer yoga position with HopeSpring, and I went, oh, isn't that fabulous? And what made it even better was that I have a connection to the cancer community. Both my parents were diagnosed in their 40s with cancer, with no family history that we're aware of. So something that's close to my heart, and I'm very happy to be working with the HopeSpring community. It's been great. I teach a very gentle style of yoga. I also incorporate meditation in the beginning of the yoga class as a means of, we run around in our busy day, we've got a lot going on, but meditation can really help to ground and center in the moment and get people in the right mindset of yoga. So my yoga class is very gentle. I know there's a variety of styles out there, from very gentle to really intense, and they're all wonderful and have value. For me, in my busy life, I like the calm that gentle yoga brings, and I like to share that with others. So that's what I teach. My class runs for about an hour. I spend the first 10 minutes in meditation, welcoming everybody, and then engaging in a meditation, with the other 50 minutes being yoga. And what I hope people get from my class, what I really hope people get from my class, is the opportunity to be in the moment and really settle into their body and where they are at that point in time. A lot of times our minds can be dwelling on the past or worried about the future, but the lovely thing about yoga and meditation is it's very hard. It's very hard to think about much else when you're in a yoga pose. It almost forces your mind and body to really just be in that moment. And being in the moment is something that we don't always as humans do. And it's something that's able to bring us a lot of peace and calm. And so I hope that's what people get out of it, is peace and calm and enjoying being in the moment. The program runs Monday evenings from 7 to 8. And if you go on the HopeSpring website and you look up gentle yoga and meditation with Melissa, you'll find the link and you can sign up there. Hopefully I don't get too choked up when I talk about it. It's amazing how it can be so long ago and still evoke a fair bit of emotion. My father passed away in 2021, not from cancer, but from heart-related illness. And he had survived his 3rd stage colon cancer for 25 years. Anytime I had spoken with a gastroenterologist about his history, because that makes me innately higher risk, everyone is shocked that he lived that long. He was given 2 to 5 years to live. So perhaps it might give people listening hope that, prognosis that is shared isn't always necessarily what's going to end up being the final story. So he was a success story in that regard. It's interesting, and I was 18 years old, heading to university when he was diagnosed, and his diagnosis really, it's funny because I see this more as I get older. His diagnosis really shaped a lot of my life. Right now I work in biotech. I've worked in the pharmaceutical industry for 25 years now, and health-related industries, very much as a result of seeing and being touched by the amazing work that modern science can do in terms of saving and extending people's lives. And it's something that I feel privileged to be a part of in my day job. But his symptoms were missed for years, actually. And so I guess one message that I would like to share, and my mother, who was diagnosed at age 49 with stage 1 breast cancer, they had been very quick to dismiss her lump as a cyst, a benign cyst. And it's only because I worked in the industry and had physician friends, and I said, hey, what would you do if this were your mom? And they said, oh, she needs a biopsy. And surprise, surprise, that's how it was found. So I guess if I were to share a couple of messages based on my experience in that regard, being a high-risk individual myself, is be an advocate for yourself. Don't be afraid to question and ask and be proactive. I myself just had an ultrasound recently, and I had to follow up with the doctor, say, hey, usually my results are exciting. Did you miss me? Can we can we talk about it? So being an advocate for yourself, because it's in your best interest to be an advocate for yourself, but that there can always be hope. Even if it doesn't necessarily look or feel that way, there is always hope. You know, someone may give you 2 to 5 years and you end up living 25. Life is interesting that way. Yeah. So it's very profoundly affected my life. And I'm grateful to be involved with HopeSpring and to give back. I've mentioned that I'm, I live a fairly busy lifestyle. I have 2 kids, a family, a full-time job, and I got my yoga certification because I wanted to teach. I wanted to share the gift of yoga with people, but I didn't necessarily want to feel obligated to trying to find a yoga studio. I didn't need a side hustle. Like it's not something I was particularly interested in. And so the beauty of volunteering, in addition to giving back to the community, which is something historically I have liked to do, is it also provides me a little bit of flexibility. And the wonderful thing is my class is virtual. So that also really easily fits into my lifestyle. I don't have to worry about getting a sitter if my husband's not at home. The kids can be upstairs and I could be teaching. Sometimes they stick their head into the room and say hi, but other than that, I know they're safe and they're doing their thing. So volunteering works a lot for me and my lifestyle. And I think yoga can bring, and this may sound a little hippy-dippy to some people, but I mean, I've experienced it for myself, and it's lovely. It's lovely at the end of my class, especially when we get some regulars into the class. My favorite thing is when at the end of the class, people take a while to turn their cameras back on, because that means they're really relaxed. It's hard to get back up and turn on that camera. So giving that kind of benefit to patients who are going through, a tough journey is a win-win in a lot of ways. And I'm happy to be able to do it. I brand myself and my yoga classes, I have a marketing background. I brand myself as focusing on midlife mindfulness with Melissa. If you look me up on Facebook or YouTube, that's where you'll find me. And yoga and mindfulness are a wonderful tool and conduit to bringing mindfulness into an individual's life. And when you're going through a hard time, which, let's be honest, going through a journey with cancer is a hard time. It's not easy. And one could be, tempted to see the world with probably a very negative worldview. And I've seen that with my parents and my mother in particular when she was going through her cancer journey. And the lovely thing about mindfulness, yoga, meditation being a path to that, is by settling into the moment and keeping your mind anchored to the present, not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, it can bring a lot of calm and peace to a person. And that's being able to offer that to people in what's a challenging time in their life, I hope is very useful for them, and it's very gratifying for me too. The outcomes that I hear from people, well, the first outcome is very obvious when cameras are turned back on, because a lot of the times people feel self-conscious and they turn their cameras off, and that's fine. The cameras on, cameras off, it's cool with me. But they come back and they basically unanimously, everyone's got a big smile, which is lovely. Like, they look like they've really enjoyed doing what they're doing. And, the feedback I get, really lovely, really beautiful. It's been nice to sit and breathe. I feel a lot calmer. Obvious signs that it's been a peaceful and positive experience for them. And the nice thing is, I've been doing this since February, and a lot of people are regulars. We do get some people coming in and out that are less so, but we get a fair number of regulars. So people like to come, and they make it a priority to come, which is great. The way I usually start out my class, and I do it for a twofold purpose. I do it because meditation's a nice way to calm the body down and forget about the day that's behind us. But it also allows me to watch the waiting room if people come in late, because then I'm nice and close to the camera and I can watch the Zoom and let people in if they straggle in. But let's start out with how I would normally start out a class. And I'll invite you and anyone watching to take a nice comfortable seat. If you're sitting in a chair or you're sitting on the floor, doesn't really matter. What matters is aligning your body for meditation. You can close your eyes gently if you like to. I like to close my eyes, so I'm gonna do that now. And as we settle into a meditation, we'll just take a moment to align our body, and that means long spine. Imagining that there's a string pulling from the top of your head to the ceiling, that your spine is located over top of your pelvis. You're not leaning forward, you're not leaning back, but nice and neutral and aligned. You'll spend a moment being aware of your sitting bones in the chair or on the floor that you're resting on. Maybe your hands are gently touching your lap or clasped in your lap, whatever's comfy for you. And then feeling your legs and or feet on the ground, making contact with the earth beneath you. Dropping your shoulders down and away from your ears. Nobody feels relaxed like this, scrunched up. Nope, we gotta drop those shoulders down. And maybe slightly bringing the shoulder blades just back a little bit to open the chest area. Not aggressively, just a little. And now once you're aware of your body in the moment and you're settled to a nice neutral position, let's focus on the breath. And just watching how it feels to have the breath flowing in and out of your body. You may feel it in a variety of places. You may feel it in your nostrils. You may notice it as your belly goes up and down, maybe your chest and your shoulders. And as you focus on your breathing, you may try to just lengthen things out a little bit. Slow down the breathing a little bit. Deliberately slowing down your inhale. You're watching the pause at the top. And then enjoying the exhale. If you want to sigh it out of your mouth, that's kind of relaxing as well. And just watching your breath for a few more rounds as you gradually slow things down. And now that we're more settled into the moment, let's do a brief body scan. Starting at the top of your head, and try to notice as you go through your body with your mind how your body feels. Maybe you notice, maybe you're feeling good. Maybe, that's a great thing to notice, that, hey, things are feeling good. And we don't often notice or appreciate when things are feeling good, but that's a wonderful thing to acknowledge. And maybe we're not feeling so good. Maybe there's a bit of a headache. Maybe we're feeling tense. And if you notice that, just kind of acknowledge it. Yep, I see it. I see you headache, or I see this tension, and maybe try to deliberately relax just a little, soften just a little. And then moving through the face, seeing if you see any tension in the face, trying to relax eyes and jaw and cheeks, moving down through the neck and shoulders. What do you feel there? Are they feeling good? Are they feeling tense? If you're anything like me and you sit at a desk a lot, you probably feel a little tense. So just trying to relax that a little. Mentally moving through your chest and back, being aware of and softening through there. Through the belly and the pelvis. Softening and relaxing there and low back. As you're going downward, you'll notice the sitting bones rooting into the surface that's supporting you. Feeling grounded and supported. We don't have to tense up. We can relax. Our chair or the floor is going to support us. And going down our legs, feeling perhaps our legs in contact with the chair or the floor, and noticing if you can soften a bit through there. Moving down through the knees and calves, relaxing there, being aware if you feel anything. Trying to soften into any feelings of tension if you can. And finally feeling your feet all the way down to your toes, being aware of the feeling of your feet. And then maybe slowly giving a little wiggle if you want to, wiggle your neck back and forth, maybe wiggle your fingers and toes and your shoulders a bit just to wake up your body again. And open your eyes and welcome back. It doesn't take much and it doesn't take long, and it's very helpful. And then we start usually the yoga class from there. There is actually, it's funny because I often hear when I mention that I teach yoga, a lot of times the reaction I get is, oh, I'm so inflexible, I can't do yoga. And I get why people say that, I do. And I just wanted to extend the invitation that if someone's interested but afraid, actually a virtual class is a great way to experiment and try to see how yoga might benefit you. Everyone has to start at the beginning, no matter what we do. And we're never going to do anything perfectly right off the bat. And the thing I often mention in class, and I really believe is, this is not a competition. It's not who's going to do the best yoga. There's no yoga police. There's no, if a person feels self-conscious, and I get that too, they can always turn off the camera if they're worried about people seeing them. And, in that way, you're in the privacy of your own home. You can watch me. I try my very best to provide very clear direction and options for people as to if they want to take it easier versus being more challenging. There's different options available. And even if a pose happens to be too challenging, There's nothing stopping you from sitting in a cross-legged seat and just chilling out for that pose. And that's totally okay. And that's the beauty of a virtual class is sometimes we feel self-conscious if we're around other people in the same room. That level of self-consciousness is effectively mitigated in a virtual environment. So if you're curious but a little bit shy, come anyway. Give it a try and see if it'll help, because everyone's got to start at the beginning. I guess the only other thing I'd like to say is I'm very happy to be part of the HopeSpring community. I hope that people come to and benefit from the class. And don't be shy. Don't be shy. You may surprise yourself with how you benefit from it. And I hope you do.